Hi class, this is Jackie Ray, your BMCC librarian, and we are going to go to the second of 3 tutorials on our library databases. Just a reminder, you do need a library card. Watch the video on getting a library card if you don't have one. That gives you access to our library databases from home. And we'll start out by getting right to our home page. This tutorial is going to cover CQ Researcher. So we'll start Blue Mountain Community College, which is bluecc.edu, and then you'll click on Library, right up here to the right. And here we are at our library homepage. We'll be scrolling down to our library databases link. And we're going to spend most of our time right now in top library databases. Please feel free to browse through these other tabs. We have a pretty cool streaming media collection, for example. We have awesome ebooks. We have topics broken down by subject. But we'll go right to our top library databases. CQ Researcher. Like Opposing Viewpoints, if you've already seen that video, CQ Researcher is kind of similar. As you can see in the description, it focuses on in-depth hot topic issues. CQ Researcher is actually probably one of my favorite databases. It covers a variety of topics. In fact, you can browse by topic. If you're not sure what you're interested in, but say you're interested into arts and culture, you're interested in law and justice, social services, energy, environment, whatever. It covers a broad range of broad topic ideas. You can also browse reports. So if you want to look by date, say you really like, what's really happening like in the last year, you can certainly do that. If you want to go back in time and say, okay, how are people thinking about this in say 1999, for the turn of the century, you can do that as well. You can also track by issue. So some issues are ongoing sources of conversation, things that you will probably, are more difficult to solve. How do we solve issues of, say, homelessness, environment, poverty, that sort of thing. And you can track an issue and to see how it's changed over time. You can also look at pro-con. I'm actually going to use this search by keyword function. I know one of the things that this class has talked about is human trafficking. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that in. And you can see, actually, I did that earlier. So here we are. Go ahead and click search. And from here, you get a list of reports. There is a total of 172 that somehow have the idea of human trafficking discussed in that report. They are, at this point, sorted by relevance. You could also sort by newest, or if you wanted to go backwards in time, you can certainly sort by oldest. Relevance is determined on how many times the word appears in the report itself. Just because it's lower down, it still might be really important, or just because it's not in the title, it still might be really relevant. But that's just how they break it down here. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and click on this first one. It's from 2012. This is probably an issue you want to look at. You can probably actually go back a little bit further with this issue. You could probably go back 10 years easily. There are some issues that, you might want to look at, really keep it to the last 3 years, maybe 5 years. If you're doing anything in the issue of health, for example, or technology, obviously you probably want to stick within the last 3 years, right? Because health and technology certainly change that quickly, and you want to be as current as possible. But 2012 for this topic seems okay. So I'm going to click on that. As you look through these, this is the full report. It's from October 16th, 2012, and you can see that this issue over here on the right, this is that issue tracker, which I kind of pointed out really quickly before. You can see how this has come up before with other terminology. It's come up with talking about saving Indigenous peoples. It's come up as a human rights issue because it is a huge human rights issue. It's looked specifically at women. They don't have anything where it often comes up as things with, children, for example, global economy, slavery, and such, but those are something else that you might want to think about. So these reports are, they're fantastic. They're very thorough. This is what they cover, actually. Right now we're on the full report, so as we scroll down, we'll read through all these different headings. We'll get an introduction to the topic. We'll get an overview, background, we'll get an analysis of the current situation, and any outlook. We'll also get a pro-con section and other great features. I like looking at this and pointing this out to people because this is quite often how you might want to structure your own paper. For your reader, in this case your instructor, you're going to want to give them an introduction course. You're going to want to give any audience member an overview and background, a current situation, any sort of outlook. You're going to want to incorporate what are different ways people are talking about this issue. If you ever get to the point where you have an opportunity to do a presentation or include maps and graphs, you can certainly do that. So I'm just going to scroll down here really quickly. We can see some great statistics. These take you immediately, these little footnotes here, to their citation where they got their information. Really handy here, this is actually from, looks like it's from the State Department. State.gov is the United States State Department, and it's a PDF. So if you wanted to look specifically at this was being examined by the State Department, there's your immediate link to the document. Pretty cool. And one that you can cite as well. So as we scroll down, great maps and charts. If you were giving a presentation, for example, PowerPoint, and wanted to include this, you could simply, I'm just right-clicking here, copy or save the image, and put it right into your PowerPoint. It's even cited for you. Pretty cool. As we scroll down, what I'm hoping to get us to as well is that pro-con debate. I might have to go back up to look for it, but you can see, really what is being discussed here. So let's go cycle back up so I can show you what the pro-con looks like. The pro-con, again, as I mentioned in another quick tutorial, sometimes it's very difficult as some of these human rights issues to talk about, well, what's the pro-con here? How can we say, what could possibly be a pro with human trafficking? And you're right, there's probably not one, it's a human rights issue. So, but how we talk about this issue, how we either look at root causes perhaps, how we look at different solutions, how we talk about it, those are the things that people might debate. And in this case, the question that's being posed to these experts, are governments doing enough to eradicate illicit trade? And you can see they're not even saying human trafficking at this point, they're saying illicit trade. Something to keep in mind. So the person who's saying pro, who's answering yes to this question, these tend to be experts in the field. This person is working with, she's a spokeswoman for this particular agency based in London, and the woman who offers the con saying is the executive director of Coalition Against Specifically Trafficking Women as well. So both these women are looking specifically at sex trafficking, so that's why they're both focusing on women's issues rather than other issues within trafficking. But again, most of the time, folks in these areas tend to be experts. Quite often you'll see attorneys, directors of public policy institutes. Their opinion has been asked for a reason, so it's something to keep in mind. The other thing I want to jump down to really quickly is this bibliography. The bibliography, these links will take you to links to books you can see and give you a little bit more in that. The ones that I find super helpful are the ones that are links out to different articles that are out there. This takes you out to reports and studies as well. These are all linkable, and if you need multiple sources for your paper, this could be a great way to get that second, third, fourth source. And the other practical thing is that this is something that gives you a sense of where your author is getting their information. That really lends themselves to their credibility. Are they doing their homework? Are they doing what they need to do to propose a convincing, well-rounded argument that is informed? And so looking at somebody's bibliography really does those two things. It establishes their credibility in part, and it also gives you some gateways into deeper other issues into this particular subject area. So if you are in a report and you like it, you can, of course, read it on the screen. You can also view it as a PDF and save it and download it. You just click there. If you'd like to email it back to yourself, I always find that helpful. You can always lose your flash drive or lose your printout, so you can email that back to yourself. The other thing you can do is either do the full report. You can also email it if you just want to see the maps and graphs because you want to put them in that PowerPoint. You can do that. This email link back to does not have to be your BlueCC account. If you use Gmail, Yahoo, whatever out there, you can email it to that link as well. You might run into that snag where it asks you to put in your library card number again, but hopefully you have that. Again, print. You can print the whole thing or just part of it. You can also get citing help. Yay! The default here, let me bring this guy down here, is APA. So again, if you're in Writing 227, or if you happen to be using this database for a social sciences course, education even, you will use APA. If you're in Writing 121, 122, I like to think a lot of our other courses, philosophy perhaps, history does sometimes use Chicago. You'll probably be using MLA, but really primarily APA and MLA are the ones you're going to use here. A couple other fields do use Chicago at this level. But regardless, here it is. Here's your MLA. This is actually cited properly. Always double check, but this one is actually done well. So you're ready to go to copy and paste this into your document. Pretty handy. So CQ Researcher, yeah, it's a really great tool to use. So going back to the home page, again, feel free to also browse topics just as a quick review. Browse topics if you're looking more at, say, environment and national resources. You can certainly do that, and that's what this looks like. Environment issues cover a lot of different areas, from wildlife to water to mining to pollution and climate change. Any of these will take you to deeper results in that. Water resources, of course, huge issue right now. So anyway, that is really CQ in a nutshell. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact the library at any time. And our next database that we're going to discuss is Academic Search Complete. Okay, take care.